picked this Thunder team in this series. How will this Thunder team be remembered when it's all said and done?
As one of the greatest teams to ever do it, because they're one of the greatest teams, one of the greatest defensive teams in NBA history. So I don't want people out there trying to downplay it and try to act like they had a cakewalk to the finals and the championship. No, they did what they needed to do. They won 68 games this season. They came into this postseason. They handled their business in the first round. They defeated Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets in a tough 7-game series, and they battled against a tough, well-coached Indiana Pacers team. And I understand Tyrese Halliburton went down in Game 7, but part of winning championship is having luck, right? Having healthy bodies. And when you look at the age of this group, the youth of this group, you don't find groups like this that are willing to sacrifice and be all in and lose themselves into the team like we witnessed last night or throughout the course of this postseason with this young Thunder team. They're one of the greatest defensive teams I've ever seen with my own eyes and in history.
Yeah, I'm with Perk on that. They put on display. I'm a defensive guy, so I love that end of the floor. They put on an unbelievable display defensively of getting deflections, getting down the passing lanes, and creating offense. But I like to highlight individually SGA, just the mental fortitude and the stamina to exert that energy for a full regular season of winning 68 games or so, winning 84 for the total, but winning the MVP of the regular season and then going on the postseason, also the scoring title in regular season, but winning finals MVP. You don't see, there's only a handful of guys that won regular season MVP, finals MVP, and scoring title. He's up there with some great names of four people. I think a list of 4 people.
Yeah, it's
and he's only in his mid-20s. So for a guy at this age to be that mature and have that mental stamina says a lot. And I love the position he's put them in for the next decade moving on forward.
Shaq, Kareem, Michael Jordan, SGA. Those are your 4 now.
There you go.
Yeah. Brian?
Guys, this team checked all the boxes. They had all-stars. They had all guys on all defensive team. Shea wins 4 trophies when you include the Western Conference Finals MVP trophy. They were the best team basically from the second week of October onward. They faced adversity in the postseason. They were down twice in Series 2-1, playing Game 4 on the road, down the fourth quarter of both games, come back and win that. They get to great play from the supporting cast. They get great defense. They had great transition game, great turnovers to points. This is as clean of a team and clean of a championship as you could possibly have, and it's all organic. This team was built from scratch beginning over July 4th weekend 6 years ago. 6 years they build up, and they look at their wins, 22, 42, 57, 68. It's right on path. It's basically storybook, and they can now enjoy it with a great opportunity to add in the future.
No question about it, Brian. And this Thunder team will go down as one of the best all time, as Brian just alluded to. They finished with 84 wins this season, when including the regular season and the playoffs. That's tied for the 3rd most wins in a season in NBA history. OKC is also the youngest NBA champion, as Perk mentioned, since the 76-77 Bill Walton-led Blazers, and the 2nd youngest in the shot clock era to win it all. So the Thunder, they could be even better next season with all 15 roster players under team control, plus 2 more first-round picks to keep adding to this title-worthy young core. That's only in this season, 2 first-round picks. They got plenty more beyond that. An unreal season for OKC. And on the other side of things, we had unfortunate breaking news this afternoon. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, joins us now. Shams, you reported a couple of hours ago that Tyrese Halliburton did tear his Achilles last night. What more can you tell us about this devastating injury?
George, I'm told that Tyrese Halliburton will be undergoing surgery to repair that right Achilles tendon tear very soon. The surgery is imminent, and that injury timeline will likely put him out for the entire 2025-26 NBA season. And remember, this is a player that gutted out a calf strain and ankle issues all during the NBA Finals on that same right leg in that Achilles area. And then last night suffers the Achilles tear. He's had a memorable playoff run over the last year. He's risen to superstardom in the NBA, but his Achilles tear now likely puts him out all of next season.
Thank you, Shams. We will connect with you here in just a few moments as well, so thanks again. Now, Perk, What's your reaction to this news that Tyrese did in fact tear his Achilles, and as you heard Shams say, will be out next season?
Well, first praying for him, for a speedy recovery for him to get back on the floor. You don't want to see a guy go down like that, especially on the stage like that. But Wendy, here we are again, right? It seemed like every single time you and I are sharing, this platform together when it comes down to addressing this situation. And I understand you want to be out there on the floor. We go back to 2019. Wendy, you and I were covering the NBA Finals. Danny, you were actually in the NBA Finals about to win your championship with the Toronto Raptors. And I said the same thing to Kevin Durant, right? I told him to his face, and I said it publicly, I wouldn't play. The calf injury, man, it's nothing to play with. History tells us that. And I hate it for him because you have that balance. You want to be out there, but at the same time, you're the Indiana Pacers. You have $200+ million that is invested into Tyrese Halliburton. And the thing is, you have to protect your guy. You have to protect your guy. I know he wanted to be out there, but I think a hard conversation needed to be had that he needed to sit out the remaining of this NBA Finals and get up to getting healthy so that he can make sure he's available for next season. Now, all of a sudden, we're here now where Shams is reporting that he's going to miss next season, and it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, Perk, those are two of the worst things I've ever witnessed in the NBA. Remembering KD leaving the arena. In the case in 2019, he left the arena during the game, got in an airplane and flew to New York to have surgery the next day. In this case, Tyrese Halliburton off to an absolutely brilliant start to this game. We know that Tyrese, when he gets off to great starts, it changes his whole mentality. When he hits his first few shots, we also know that when he scores over 20 points, the Pacers are next to unbeatable. So he is experiencing like this dream situation where he is having a great start, potentially a great game in Game 7 of the Finals, and then he falls. And the reason he's so upset, George, as you watched him get carried to the back, isn't just because his pain is so deep. It's because he knows that he was having an incredible moment that he had dreamed of that had slipped away, and he knew it in that moment. And look, here's the problem. The problem is he had played in Game 6 and been able to really play well and trust the leg and get it done. And so that's the thing that's so tricky, and that's one of the reasons why when you see calf strains, you often see players get shut down for weeks. Even though it doesn't seem like it would be that severe of an injury, they get shut down for weeks for this exact reason because of this. And it's just a heartbreaking situation, and unfortunately, the Pacers will now deal with it next year, and we have the Eastern Conference completely reshaped by torn Achilles tendons to Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, and Damian Lillard next season.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man, to see. But most players, most guys will say, is it worth putting your calf on the line for an NBA championship? Most guys would say yes, right? Obviously, granted, the situation, the injury that happened, you can't predict that it's going to happen, but it's like, will I push it? You kind of put that on the line for that. But sometimes, like Perk said, you got to have the organization has to have your back and protect you from yourself sometimes. But if you ask Tyrese, would he change things? He might not. He give himself a chance to win NBA championship, Game 7, everything on the line. These are the moments that you live for. But with that being said, the East is wide open, like Wendy said. Teams like Orlando, Milwaukee, obviously Cleveland and New York are the heavy favorites. But those other teams, they have a chance now to have a window to make it to Eastern Conference Finals, if not the finals, next year.
A speedy recovery to Tyrese Halliburton, and we're going to talk about the East in just a moment. But coming up next on NBA Today, Malika sat down with the 2025 regular season MVP, the Western Conference Finals MVP, and the NBA Finals MVP. He's the same man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. She asks him about all the hardware he's won and if he's just getting started. And we mentioned the East a moment ago. Who is the new Eastern Conference powerhouse? Bobby Marks joins the show to lay out the landscape of the Eastern Conference and who the favorite should be. Plus, the KD trade saga is officially over, and he's headed to Houston. We'll tell you why the odds makers love the move for the Rockets. NBA Today. We'll be back after this.